Hello everyone. I'm Natasha, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Whether you're new to the English learning journey, or you've been working on your skills for a while, there's one thing we all need to be aware of: avoiding the common mistakes that slow us down or make learning more difficult than it needs to be. In today's video, we'll explore these mistakes that many learners make without even realizing it. And we'll learn how to avoid them so your journey to fluency becomes more effective and more enjoyable. Throughout this video, I'll also guide you through practice exercises and real-life examples that will help you remember these lessons and apply them to your own daily English use. So get comfortable, stay focused, and let's begin your improvement right now. One of the first and most common mistakes people make when learning English is expecting instant results. Learning a language is not something that happens overnight. Many learners feel frustrated when they don't see fast improvement, especially when comparing themselves to others. It's important to remember, every person has a different pace. Instead of thinking about how fast you're going, focus on consistency. Try to practice a little every day. For example, rather than studying grammar rules for hours on one day and then forgetting about English for a week, spend just 15 minutes a day listening to English audio or repeating phrases aloud. That daily habit builds your confidence, sharpens your ear, and trains your brain to think in English. Another mistake is being too afraid of making mistakes. Ironically, fear of mistakes causes more problems than the mistakes themselves. If you avoid speaking because you're worried about getting the grammar wrong or mispronouncing a word, you'll miss out on valuable learning opportunities. The truth is, mistakes are part of learning. In fact, the more you make them, the more you grow. When you speak and notice an error later, your brain marks it, and you're less likely to repeat it next time. So, instead of avoiding conversations, jump into them. Talk to yourself. Talk to your phone. Talk to a friend. Or even repeat lines from movies. Each time you practice speaking, you are moving one step closer to fluency. Let's try a small exercise right now. I want you to say this out loud after me. It's okay to make mistakes. I learn from every one of them. Now say it again. But this time, add a small daily situation to it. For example, it's okay to make mistakes. If I forget a word while ordering coffee, I can describe it another way. Practicing with your own life examples makes it stick better. The more personal and relatable the sentence is, the more powerful your practice becomes. A third mistake many learners make is focusing too much on grammar and not enough on actual communication. Yes, grammar is important, but you don't need to master every tense or rule before you can speak confidently. In real life, communication matters more than perfection. People care about understanding what you're saying, not whether your past perfect continuous tense is flawless. Try to balance your learning. Spend time listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But always come back to how you use English in real situations. Here's a practice activity for this. Imagine you're asking a friend about their weekend. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need to be understood. Try this. What did you do on Saturday? Did you go anywhere? Was it fun? Now answer those questions as if someone is asking you. I went to the park. Yes, I met my cousin there. We had a picnic and talked a lot. These are simple, clear sentences. Even if you don't use advanced grammar, your message is strong and easy to understand. Another mistake is translating everything from your native language into English. While it's normal to think in your own language at first, constantly translating slows you down and often leads to unnatural phrasing. English has its own rhythm, structure, and idioms that don't always match your native tongue. The goal is to start thinking directly in English. at least in simple sentences. You can train your brain to do this by surrounding yourself with English through music, podcasts, movies, and simple self-talk. Let's do a short self-talk activity. Wherever you are, look around and describe what you see in English. For example, I'm sitting on a chair. There is a cup of tea on the table. It's warm and quiet here. This simple habit rewires your mind to process thoughts in English. Do this at least once a day, especially during routine tasks like cooking, walking, or cleaning. Just think aloud in English. You'll notice a change in your fluency over time. A big mistake many learners make is learning vocabulary without context. Memorizing word lists is useful, but it's much more effective to learn new words through sentences. Words live inside sentences. They connect with other words, create meaning, and reveal tone. If you just memorize the word run without knowing how it's used in real life, you'll forget it quickly. But if you see it in a sentence like, I run every morning before breakfast, it becomes real and memorable. Let's take a moment to practice with this. I'll give you 3 words: run, early, and habit. Now I'll make a sentence. Running early in the morning has become a good habit for me. Now you try to create a sentence using those 3 words. Even if it's simple, say it aloud. Practicing vocabulary this way gives you stronger memory and better usage skills. Another challenge learners face is trying to sound perfect too soon. Pronunciation is important, but you don't need an American or British accent to be a good speaker. Clear speech is more important than accent. Instead of focusing on sounding native, focus on being understood. Work on stress, rhythm, and intonation. These are the real keys to fluent speaking. Here's a simple speaking practice to help you with rhythm. Repeat this sentence after me. I'm going to the market to buy some vegetables. Now say it slowly. Then gradually increase your speed until it feels natural. Do this kind of practice with sentences you use daily. Try. I'm making tea. She's calling me now. They are watching a movie. Record yourself if you can, and listen back. You'll hear where your rhythm sounds natural and where it needs work. One of the biggest learning mistakes is not practicing listening. Many learners focus on speaking and reading, but ignore listening practice. Listening is how we learn the natural flow of the language. It teaches us pronunciation, tone, and common expressions. Watch English shows. Listen to podcasts or audiobooks. And don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on the general idea. Over time, your brain will adapt, and you'll understand more and more. Let's try a listening style practice. I'll say a few sentences, and you try to understand the general message. Here we go. Yesterday, I met a friend I hadn't seen in years. We had coffee and talked about our school memories. It was nice to reconnect. Now, what was the main idea? You don't need to catch every word. The idea was, 2 old friends met after a long time and shared memories. That's the kind of listening skill you need for daily life. Understanding the bigger picture. Another error to avoid is comparing yourself to others. It's easy to feel discouraged when you see someone speaking better than you, especially on social media. But remember, you don't see their whole journey. Maybe they've been learning for years. Maybe they practice every day in ways you don't know. Your only comparison should be with yourself. Are you better than yesterday? Did you learn a new word? Did you practice speaking for even 5 minutes? Then you're moving forward. And that's what matters. To stay motivated, keep a small English journal. Every night, write just 3 lines about your day in English. For example, today I studied for an hour. I learned 5 new words. I feel proud. This tiny habit keeps you aware of your growth. And when you look back after a month, you'll be amazed at your progress. Another common mistake is using only textbooks to learn English. While textbooks are helpful for understanding grammar rules and vocabulary, they often lack the natural flow and everyday expressions that real-life conversations include. English in the real world is full of contractions, idioms, phrasal verbs, and informal expressions that are not always covered in textbooks. If your learning is limited only to textbooks, you might end up knowing the rules, but struggling to speak or understand fluent English. To avoid this, combine textbook learning with real-world practice. Watch interviews, listen to podcasts, read blogs or social media posts written by native speakers. Notice how the language is used naturally. Let's do a quick exercise. The textbook version of a sentence might be, "I cannot go to the party because I am tired." But a native speaker might say, "Can't make it to the party, I'm wiped out." Both express the same idea, but the second one feels more natural. Try changing formal textbook phrases into casual spoken ones. For example, "I do not understand" becomes "I don't get it." "She is not at home" becomes "she's out." Practice like this helps you sound more like a natural speaker. Another mistake is ignoring body language and nonverbal cues when practicing English. Communication isn't only about words. The tone of your voice, your facial expressions, your hand gestures, these all help deliver your message. When you're speaking English, even if your words aren't perfect, using the right tone and expression can help you be understood more clearly. Try practicing in front of a mirror. Say a sentence and notice your facial expressions and hand movements. For example, when you say, "I'm so happy today," does your face actually show happiness? These small things make your communication more effective. Many learners also forget the importance of repetition in language learning. Just because you learned a word once doesn't mean it's locked into your brain. You need to repeat and reuse it several times in different contexts to make it stick. That's why spaced repetition is such a powerful technique. Review words and phrases regularly, space them out over days or weeks, and use them in real-life sentences. Here's how you can practice. Choose 5 new words you've recently learned. For each word, create one sentence today. Tomorrow, try to use the same words again, but in different sentences. For example, if one of the words is discuss, you might say today, "I want to discuss the movie we watched." Tomorrow, say, "We need to discuss the new project at work." Repetition with variation helps solidify your vocabulary. Another big mistake is trying to learn too many things at once. Some learners get excited and try to memorize dozens of words in a day or learn complex grammar rules all at once. This often leads to burnout or forgetting everything quickly. The brain learns better in small chunks. Focus on mastering a few things each day rather than overwhelming yourself. Let's turn this into a practice activity. Take 3 words today. Let's say enjoy, decide, and prefer. Use each one in 2 different sentences. For example, "I enjoy listening to music." "We enjoyed the dinner last night." Then, "He decided to stay home." "I can't decide what to wear." And "I prefer coffee over tea." Do you prefer to walk or drive? Notice how each sentence is simple, but you're training your brain to connect words to actions and ideas you use in daily life. Now, let's talk about the mistake of relying only on passive learning. Passive learning means reading, watching, or listening without using the language yourself. While it's important to expose yourself to English, it's equally important to actively produce the language. This means speaking out loud, writing sentences, asking questions, or even repeating what you hear. If you only consume the language without using it, your progress will be slow. So here's an active listening and speaking practice. Listen to a short English video or podcast clip, no more than 2 minutes. After listening, try to retell what you heard in your own words. You can say, they were talking about morning routines. One person wakes up early and exercises. Another person drinks coffee and checks emails. This process forces your brain to organize thoughts in English and strengthens your memory. Another mistake that many learners make is not reviewing their progress. If you don't take time to reflect on what you've learned, you might keep repeating the same mistakes or feel like you're not improving. Once a week, sit down and look at what you've studied. Review your notes, look at new words, and test yourself. Ask yourself questions like, can I use this new phrase in a sentence? Or do I understand this grammar rule enough to explain it to someone else? Here's a reflection exercise you can try. At the end of the week, write a short paragraph in English about what you learned. It can be about vocabulary, phrases, or something new you discovered. For example, this week I learned how to use the past simple tense. I practiced sentences like, I went to the market and she cooked dinner yesterday. I also learned 5 new words: borrow, lend, angry, excited, and important. Writing this helps your brain organize knowledge and gives you confidence that you are moving forward. Many learners also fail to build a consistent routine. They study when they feel like it, but language learning requires regular practice. It doesn't mean you have to spend hours every day, but even 20 minutes a day can bring big results if you stay consistent. The key is to make English part of your lifestyle. Listen to English while cooking. Read short articles during your commute. Speak to yourself in English while doing housework. Let's make a quick daily routine example to help you. Morning. Wake up and describe your surroundings in English. It's sunny. I hear birds outside. I feel rested. Afternoon. While walking or working, listen to an English podcast. Evening. Write 3 sentences in your journal about your day. Night. Before sleeping, repeat 5 sentences from a show or lesson. This type of immersion keeps the language alive in your mind. A very overlooked mistake is ignoring pronunciation practice. Many learners think they can improve pronunciation just by listening. While listening helps, you must also move your mouth and produce the sounds. English has sounds that may not exist in your native language, and your mouth needs to be trained to make them correctly. Practice speaking aloud daily, even if it's just 5 minutes. Try this pronunciation exercise with me. Repeat these pairs of words and pay attention to the ending sounds: ship and sheep, bit and beat, cap and cup. These words may sound similar but have different vowel sounds. Say them slowly first, then repeat faster. If possible, record your voice and compare it to a native speaker's pronunciation. This will help you adjust your mouth and tongue movements. Sometimes learners also believe they need a native speaker to learn English well. While native speakers can be helpful, they're not necessary for your success. You can learn from other learners, from recordings, from online platforms, and most importantly, from yourself. Practicing on your own is just as powerful, and it builds independence. Don't wait for the perfect partner or teacher. Use what you have right now: your voice, your ears, your environment. Let's practice a simple dialogue on your own. Pretend you're meeting someone new. Say out loud, "Hi, my name is Sarah. Nice to meet you." Then imagine the other person replying, "Hi Sarah, I'm David. How are you?" Respond with, "I'm good, thanks." And you? Do this kind of practice every day. Create imaginary conversations and speak both parts. It helps with fluency, vocabulary, and confidence. Another mistake learners often make is thinking that they must speak perfectly before they can speak at all. This belief creates fear and delay. The truth is, no one speaks perfectly, not even native speakers. They make grammar slips, forget words, and correct themselves all the time. So if you're waiting for perfection before speaking, you're missing countless opportunities to grow. The best way to improve is by using what you know right now. Even if you only know basic words and simple sentences, start speaking. The more you use the language, the faster your vocabulary and confidence will grow. Let's do a confidence-building exercise. Think of a topic you know well, maybe your job, your hometown, or your favorite food. Now, speak about it in English for 1 minute. Don't worry about mistakes. Just focus on communicating your thoughts. For example, if your topic is your favorite food, you might say, "My favorite food is pizza. I like it because it has cheese, vegetables, and a crispy crust. I eat pizza with my friends on weekends." Simple and clear. Over time, you can add more details and improve the structure, but the key is to begin. One more harmful mistake is ignoring feedback. Sometimes learners are corrected by teachers, friends, or even language apps, but they feel embarrassed or discouraged. Remember, feedback is a gift. It helps you identify your weak points so you can improve. Don't take it personally. Use it as a tool. Keep a small notebook where you write down your repeated mistakes. Then practice correcting them. For example, if you often say, "He go to school," instead of "he goes to school," make a list of similar sentences and practice. "She goes to work." "My friend goes home early." "The dog goes outside." Repetition will rewire your brain and fix the pattern. Let's do a review-style activity together now. I'll say a few incorrect sentences, and you'll try to correct them. Ready? First sentence, "She don't like coffee." Think about it. The correct version is, "She doesn't like coffee." Next one, "He going to office." Correct it, "He is going to the office." Last one, "They was happy." Fix it, "They were happy." This type of active correction builds both your grammar and your awareness. Some learners also stop themselves from learning more because they think they're too old or too slow. Language learning has no age limit. Children learn quickly, yes, but adults bring focus, discipline, and understanding that children don't have. Whether you're in your 20s or your 70s, your brain can still learn new languages. What matters is your mindset. Stay curious, stay patient, and believe that progress is always possible. Here's a motivational practice. Each morning, say this sentence aloud. "I can learn English, and I am improving every day." Repeat it with confidence. Then think of one small step you will take today. Maybe watching a 5-minute English video, learning one new word, or writing a few sentences in your notebook. These small steps build strong habits and big success over time. Another learning mistake is skipping writing practice. Some learners avoid writing because they feel it's slow or boring. But writing helps you organize your thoughts, learn new vocabulary, and understand sentence structure more deeply. You don't need to write essays. Start with short, simple things. Write about your day, your dreams, your plans for the weekend. You can even write short dialogues or summaries of English videos you watch. Try this writing task now. Imagine it's the end of the day. Write a short paragraph like this. "Today was a busy day. I went to work in the morning. I had lunch with my coworkers. In the evening, I watched an English video and practiced new words." These kinds of short paragraphs build fluency and give you confidence with sentence building. Another big mistake is ignoring the power of reading. Reading improves your grammar, vocabulary, and comprehension all at once. But don't try to read difficult novels at first. Start with easy books, children's stories, or graded readers for English learners. The simpler the language, the more confident you'll feel, and the more likely you are to continue. As you grow more comfortable, Slowly move to newspapers, blogs, or websites written in English. Let's practice reading aloud together. I'll read a few lines slowly. You repeat after me. Learning English is a journey. Pause. I am not perfect, but I am improving. Pause. Every day, I grow more confident. Pause. This reading and repeating method improves pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency. Make it part of your daily habit. Even 5 minutes of reading aloud can bring big improvement over time. One more thing to avoid is thinking that learning English is only about rules and words. It's more than that. It's about expressing yourself, connecting with others, and opening doors to new experiences. Learning a language should feel alive. When you enjoy the process, you stay motivated. Watch English movies that make you laugh. Listen to songs that touch your heart. Talk to people and hear their stories. Make English part of your emotions and your personal world. Here's a fun practice you can try. Think of a movie or a song you like. Find one short line from it in English. Repeat it again and again until it feels natural. For example, from a movie, I'll be there for you. Or from a song, don't stop believing. Say it with feeling, with expression. These lines stay in your memory longer because they are connected to emotion and music. Now, as we come to the end of our session, let me remind you of something important. Mistakes are not failures. They are steps forward. Every error teaches you something. Every moment of confusion is a chance to ask questions and grow. You don't need to learn everything today. Just take one step at a time. Speak now, even if it's not perfect. Use the words you know. Practice without fear. Keep going, even when it's slow. Your English will grow, and so will your confidence. If you found today's video helpful and you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, English in Minutes. We upload a new video every day to help you speak better English and feel more confident in your journey. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who's also learning English. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're here with you every step of the way. Thanks for spending this time with me. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.